So, in the last 4 years, we have all experienced the COVID 19 pandemic. And during this pandemic, many of us thought the world was going to end. We came into a lot of shortages, like with toilet paper, for example, medicines, vaccines, COVID tests, and things along that line. Um, I just want to present to you a few alternatives to medicines that we can use, that we can find in our own backyards. These plants are very common to upstate New York and other parts of the world. They do have a long history of treating specific minute ailments as well. And I hope that a lot of this is useful information that we can all take and apply to our daily lives as well. The first plant is jewelweed. Jewelweed has a few common names as well. Some people refer to them as touch-me-nots or silverleaf. It is a touch-me-not because it does contain seed capsules, and if they're touched or shaken, they will pop and release seeds, almost like confetti poppers, if you will. These plants can be found along wet woodland borders, shaded riverbanks, roadside ditches, and moist areas like that. Be aware though, they do oftentimes grow alongside poison ivy. However, the ironic part of this is that this plant has a long history of being used for treatments to reduce the itchiness associated with the poison ivy plant. If you come in contact with it, you can crush up the stems and it'll release a sap, and you can use this sap to rub on the rash itself to help reduce the itchiness associated with it and the inflammation. A lot of commercial products do contain jewelweed to help treat poison ivy rashes as well. And according to drugs.com, this plant can also be used to reduce the stinging associated if you come in contact with stinging nettle or wood nettle. And also with Chinese herbal medicine, if anybody's familiar with that, it has a long history of being used for pain, swelling, bruising, and has other antimicrobial purposes as well. Um, a lot of Chinese herbal medicine has used the seeds of this plant to promote blood flow, especially during menstruation for women. And also, this helps suppress post childbirth pain for women as well. It seems self explanatory if you've ever given birth to a child. Also, in other Asian countries, it is used for an antidote for fish poison as well. The stinging associated if you've ever touched some sort of poisonous fish or something like that. And a lot of this information has also been medically reviewed on drugs.com, so a lot of doctors have also ran clinical trials with these plants as well. The next plant is blessed thistle. Blessed thistle also has a few common names. It is known as holy thistle or St. Benedict's thistle as well. This plant is actually native to southern Europe, West Asia, and northern Africa. However, it has been naturalized here in the United States. It is a very noxious weed. It grows in some harsh conditions, especially like stony, uncultivated areas. Oftentimes we see this plant and unknowingly we just get rid of it, pull it out of the ground, throw it away. Um, it's about a meter in height. It is a leathery, hairy plant that has yellow flowers, and these yellow flowers are contained within a prickly flower head, almost like a star, if you will. And it does oftentimes get confused with milk thistle, if anybody's ever seen milk thistle. Ashley Green, who is a nutritionist, presented this idea. A lot of the medicinal uses for this go as far back as the Black Death or bubonic plague, Black Plague, whatever you want to call it. And now we use it mostly for and to increase production of breast milk for breastfeeding women. The herb contains a galactagogue, which helps increase prolactin levels, which prolactin is the hormone that helps produce breast milk. This also helps in digestion as well. Um, St. Benedict's thistle has cynosine in it, which stimulates production of saliva and gastric acid. So this can help with gas, constipation, stomach pain, and indigestion. If you are allergic to ragweed, which I know so many people are, do not try to consume this plant in any way. It can also be used to treat skin infections as it does have antibacterial properties as well. If you're breastfeeding and want to try to increase your breast milk supply with this plant, You can dry it out and brew it as a tea. It's about 1 to 3 teaspoons per 1 cup of hot water. You can steep that as well. You can find this plant in tinctures, capsules, and things like that. However, another reason you should avoid this plant is if you're taking antacids. If you are pregnant, there aren't very many known effects on this plant on pregnant women, so I would not recommend it if you are pregnant. If you have gastric diseases like Crohn's, also don't try to take this plant. And last but not least, dandelion. Dandelion is a very common plant. If you don't know what that is, I suggest you go outside and look in your yard. It's everywhere. Nobody likes it. We try to get rid of it. Dandelion is very well known for its aid as a diuretic, so it promotes urination and sodium excretion. With the sodium excretion, this can help with high blood pressure or hypertension and congestive heart failure. So, dandelion is very well known for its use in aiding people that have heart diseases and things like that, as it does contain a moderate amount of potassium. So, when potassium enters the body, sodium leaves the body. Um, this also can help in digestion, constipation, inflammation of the stomach, and the liver. However, I chose dandelion as one of my favorite ones because of a really spooky theory, if you will. Um, Roundup is a weed killer, very well known to kill dandelion. Contains a glyphosate, which causes heart arrhythmias. Who owns Roundup? Bayer. Bayer also owns aspirin, also a well known heart medication. So if we get rid of dandelion, you have to buy aspirin, therefore you're putting money into their pockets. Crazy thought. You can look this all up if you'd like. So in conclusion, we have come a very long way with Western medicine, as we all know, but herbal medicine has been around for centuries. Some would even argue since the beginning of time. And sometimes herbal medicines are not best for everyone, but they do provide an alternative for those who are interested in giving them a try. So feel free to step outside and find these plants yourself and maybe give them a try.